you cut me too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah. It's that time again. Another bi-weekly podcast from your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and...
Peter!
and...
Both your mother and your father. Remix one up.
Whoa. I feel sorry for your mother. I will never stop referencing that.
What'd you say about my mama, huh?
Do we have a problem, huh?
USSR.
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Multiple deep cuts. Woo, that was a lot of words first thing in the morning, guys.
We should just have a challenge on how far we could go from opening credits until one of us blanks on what the line is next in that movie.
Oh my god. Yeah, and then the loser has to drink that Night of the Living Red hot sauce, the whole bottle.
If I drink the rest of this entire bottle, you better have the ambulance on standby.
You'd be like that scene in Roger Rabbit. He's fucking running around the kitchen.
I feel like I would look like George Costanza in the back of an ambulance turning purple. I think I'm having a heart attack.
I'm sick. Take me to the hospital.
What's up, Pam? Be like, I'll just follow right along in whatever hospital they take you to. Okay, honey.
Okay, honey. The Burbs reference, deep cut. Holy fuck. It's a good morning. Today's episode is on a movie that I had no idea existed until Evil essentially force-fed me this movie. So, Evil happens to be well-versed in the film career of the two icons, the two stars of this film. So, Evil, you want to give everybody at home...
There's a lot of leeway right there with stars and film career.
Yes. Career air quotations, but you want to give the folks at home a little brief plot synopsis and just some general information about the film that we're going to be discussing for this hour.
And what's the film we're discussing?
We are discussing Joe Paragon's 1992 classic, Double Trouble.
I've never heard of it. Is it any good?
Depends on, good is subjective. For me, yes, this movie is Oscar worthy.
Yeah, well, this is the penultimate flick of the Barbarian twins, Peter Paul and David Paul.
Peter and
David Paul, which started a movie that's literally called The Barbarians, where they are fucking barbarians, and it's out on Blu-ray now. It's like a $17 Blu-ray. I'd like to add it to my collection, but I only have a couple of the movies that they've done. They had I forget the title, but they also have like a movie where they're babysitters.
It's called Twin Sitters, buddy. I got
Twin Sitters, yes. That one's on a double feature DVD if you want to try to find that gem. I haven't been able to acquire it yet. The two movies I have of theirs is DC Cab, which that's going to be a stay tuned for sure, because you get the Barbarian twins plus Gary Busey as cab drivers, along with Mr. T.
Yes.
And
so we'll have to cover that.
Absolutely. And the other movie is Double Trouble, which it somehow eluded me until probably about 2007. I was able to catch it by chance on cable TV with a couple of buddies after work one day, and I watched it. And that may have significance because it may have been the very last tape I ever dubbed off cable was Double Trouble. And yeah, it's the story of these Barbarian twins again. One's a cop, one's a criminal, and they gotta solve the case of the missing jewels and Roddy McDowell.
And you did introduce this movie to me, and it blew my mind. You brought it over the last time you visited.
Which, that's my bad. I had this movie for so long, and I'm like, I don't know why it skipped my mind being like, why don't I ever bring this for Roger to see? I'm gonna bring it this time. It's way too long. It's way past due.
Yes, and we kind of threw it on in the background where we're all just kind of hanging out and talking, but you don't really need the dialogue when you watch this movie, but it helps.
No.
Just, and so I was intrigued by it, and so when you left, I said, please leave it so I can give it my undivided attention, and this movie did not disappoint. This movie is 100% bug nuts, bonkers, popcorn as fuck, insane. There's a litany of words I could use to describe this movie.
It's what they refer to, I think, in the porn biz as a gaper, because your mouth will probably be agape the entire time you're watching it, in disbelief of what you're watching. It was actually made into a film.
Yes. And I gotta say, man, I messaged you earlier this week, and I was kind of like, you know how like everybody kind of praises like The Room, or they praise Troll 2, or what's the other movie that everybody...
Samurai Cop, I think you mentioned.
Samurai Cop. They praise all of these movies for being like so bad they're awesome. But I've never heard anybody bring up Double Trouble, and right now we're drawing a line in the sand. 3B Video.
We claimed it first.
I'm saying Double Trouble might be the best, worst movie ever. Ever. The only negative this movie has for me is there's no tits. But that's it.
I mean, yeah, it's a clean movie. You can put this on any time of day and watch it, and it's that may make it even better in my mind. I will willingly forego breastises just to be able to watch Double Trouble any time of day. Unlike Double Impact, I can't watch that shit during the day. I want to get my 2 Van Damme movies on. I got to do something else because he's always got to have his Van Damme ass out there on display doing the splits and tagging some woman. Not
for
in
like
Double
40
Trouble,
minutes
man.
in the movie too. That's a ridiculous sex scene.
This is 2 muscle-bound doofuses with mullets that just work out and make fucking movies in air quotes.
Dude, yeah. And so I brought up that Joe Paragon directed this movie, and since we're talking about the lack of nudity that this movie actually has, I thought it would be interesting. So I wrote this down specifically for you because I know you have ties to it. But Joe Paragon also directed 10 episodes of Silk Stockings.
Just 10 episodes? Man. Well, then he's perfect in shooting kind of schlocky, bad fucking film with no breastises in it.
And 45 episodes of Pee-wee's Playhouse. So,
wow, that took a real left turn.
The two styles mesh very well in Double Trouble.
Not. I loved your episodes of Silk Stockings. I watched them the other day. Happy endings.
Oh man, this movie, guys. If you don't know, you're about to find out.
It's only $11 on Amazon. Just saying, you can pick this shit up real cheap.
Right. All right, Evil. Take it away.
What am I taking away? That this is a movie about these two twins that they're just referred to as the Barbarian Twins, and I think they even go by their fucking real names. Like it's just Peter and David Paul. Like they don't even give them character names. Right, they're just themselves. Like I don't know if I could just read the dummy cards. Yeah. Well, and of course the slightly muscular one, and I think at least in my eyes, is the cop who dresses in his skin tight jeans and midriff Raiders semi-sweater because it's too short at the waist and too short on the arms, so it looks like maybe a normal person size sweater, but he's a cop, and his slightly chubbier but still like excessively masculine brother is a cat burglar who uses lasers and shit to cat burglar and then spray paints a cat on the wall to tag it like he's a fucking Batman villain. This whole premise of this movie is like some shit that like belongs in a sitcom, like it belongs on like an episode of Family Matters or something. It's really weird, or like a Saturday morning cartoon. The score really lends itself to that Saturday morning atmosphere. Like it's a very kind of I can't. It's so indistinguishable, but I can't figure out how to place the score in this movie. It's so instrumentally goofy. Yes, that's a perfect way to put it. Well, and the hijinks and all of the things that ensue in this movie are basically exactly what you would expect. It's very paint by the numbers,
as far as a movie about twins goes, but one's good, one's bad. They have to work together. And since we're talking about the muscle-bound bodybuilder-esque, body type being a nimble cat burglar, I call bullshit like a million times in this movie. There's a couple of scenes where there's one scene in particular where he sneaks out of a bathroom
window, like a high-rise window, after he's been captured and forced to work with his brother. But they also have a third-party cop with them named Whitney, and he may be the dumbest motherfucker in the movie, and that's saying a lot with these Barbarian twins, because he's supposedly taking the longest piss in history, while one of these Barbarian twins is trying to leap out of a window that's like at least 10 feet high.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers. So not only does he sneak out and get away, but he sneaks back in. And you gotta just open up another tab, Google image search the Barbarian twins, and tell me if you think that stealthy is a word that you would use to describe either of these big fucking bulbous bastards.
And then you have the great line, because he comes back because his brother's waiting for him out on the ledge, like, I knew you'd try to escape. Get your ass back in there. So he makes him climb off the ledge, back through the window, into the bathroom, and he steps in the fucking toilet bowl, gets out of the bathroom where Whitney's standing there, and looks at him and goes, and no matter how much you shake it, little bit always ends up on your leg.
Yeah, and it's like he's soaked.
Yeah, that's a lot of piss.
Yeah. What have you been drinking?
That's... No, not accurate at all. Like, I would really question it. Like, you don't know how to pee properly, do you?
Your dick is like a water balloon? What's going on?
Like, do you just stop it whenever you decide you're done and just zip up and go, regardless if the flow is still going or not?
I think it's a size joke. Their dicks are like elephant trunks. They just spray everywhere.
I mean, it's possible. And then the creme de la creme of casting is you have the lead villain as Roddy McDowall, which he's awesome, but I don't know how the fuck he got drunk dialed into being in this movie.
Yeah, roped into this. I don't know.
Who did he owe money to?
92. It might have been. I don't know what year Roddy died.
I don't know either.
This might have been a kind of out of necessity. Like, I'm trying to make some money for my family before I, kick the bucket. Because he was sick, right? He died. It was like a long process for him to die.
I'm not well versed in the final years of Roddy McDowall's life, but I
well, what the fuck?
I refuse.
Why are you not?
Because I at least refuse to believe he did this for the money. Because how much money could he be making off this?
Remix, can you find out what year Roddy McDowall died for
and
me?
What did he die of, and how long did it take for him to die once he found out he was dying?
Yeah, let's just go through the whole gambit of Roddy McDowall's final days. Every excruciating detail, please.
Just October 1998.
98, okay.
Yeah, I would be amazed if he was penny pinching enough to use double trouble money to survive another 6 years.
Right. He was incinerated by a pyroclastic cloud, is what we've determined.
Pyroclastic cloud.
His lung cancer.
Oh.
Nothing fun there.
Nothing fun. Nothing cool. He didn't go out, snorting coke and banging hookers. But speaking of snorting coke and banging hookers, the right-hand man, I suppose, to Roddy McDowall, which you guys pointed out to me, is, a famous musician, if you will, but has also been in a handful of Tarantino and Rodriguez films like Desperado and From Dusk Till Dawn. Evil, you want to let the folks at home know a little something about Tito?
Yeah, let's kill that fucking band. He always looks the same. Like, he looks the same here as he does in Desperado and From Dusk Till Dawn. There's a weird succession. It's very much like RoboCop, a succession of second-in-command bad guys under Roddy McDowall. And as soon as you fuck up, you are literally off-screen shot and killed. The next guy
Right.
takes your place.
You're fired.
Yeah, it's never on camera. You always just, we're not going to use you anymore. Yep. All right, Tito from the Tito and Tarantulas, you're next.
And then, the first time I watched it with you, I missed Tito's untimely demise. And then when I rewatched it, I'm like, oh, he just got rid of Tito just out of nowhere. Tito, you're fired. Like, what?
There's death in this movie, but it's almost all off screen. You don't see anybody die on screen, really.
And going back to the nimbleness of
this is something you pointed out watching it that I'd never paid attention to before.
It drives me nuts, and I hope I'm about to ruin this movie for any of you first time watchers.
It's
or
impossible to ruin this movie. It is
fans of this movie.
It's bulletproof.
It's no bulletproof, but it is bulletproof, if you know what I'm saying.
Same concept.
Yeah, pretty much.
You think Damon Wayans, Adam Sandler are like, have you ever seen Double Trouble? That movie's fucking pretty shit. And I was like, you know what? I bet we could do it better.
Yeah, let's make it awesome. But the Barbarian twins, yes, they are impressive. They do fill the frame. They are muscle-bound monsters in every sense of the word. They might be, they're bigger than Schwarzenegger. They're big guys. And that's awesome. But there's a lot of chasing and, eluding and all of this stuff in this movie. So they do a fair amount of running, and it might be the most unintentionally hilarious thing I've ever seen. It's literally like they're Mutaro or whatever. Like they have fucking hooves. They run so funny.
Well, it's probably like 40 pounds per calf that on their legs, so it's tough to get that much muscle mass moving that quickly. Like these guys are not built for speed, but they're being told intentionally, constantly, like, you need to run in this sequence.
Yeah, it's so funny because they kind of like skid to a stop whenever they have to slow down, and you can almost hear the cartoon noise of like the brakes being hit. You know what I'm saying? Like
they kind of
scuttle.
They kind of stop like the same way Bill Murray tries to turn a corner when he's running in Kingpin, like that. Yeah. I'll be in room 309.
It's insane. But I fell in love with these guys, I'm not going to lie. I am definitely going to own my very own copy of this movie, as well as the babysitting movie that they're in and the Barbarian film. Like, I'm going down a rabbit hole, and I'm excited to go down this rabbit hole.
You're welcome. It's not a normal thing when I get to be the one to introduce you to something and it just takes over your immediate viewing like focus.
Right. It definitely this movie is perplexing, I guess. Like it's like a train wreck. You're watching it and you go, I can't turn away. And it's actually a pretty short movie. It gets over very quickly.
Yeah, this is much like the Barbarian Twins. It's not built for speed or distance.
Right.
It's a brisk film. And one of those things that I pointed out to you when we had it on the background is you'll notice that the one twin wearing the Raiders midriff never changes his clothes.
Ever.
It's undetermined how many days this movie is supposed to be over, but he wears the same fucking clothes the entire time. And then when you have close-up shots in the apartment that he lives in, he's wearing the same clothes in all the photos. It's literally a Seinfeld episode. Like, does he have just one outfit, or are all his outfits exactly the same, like fucking Andrew WK or some shit?
Right, or like Ernest P. Worrell. But there is one scene where he wears like a tuxedo, but it's fast. And then it's right back to the Raiders gear.
He does a great job of selling how uncomfortable, because I feel like that's how I physically look when I'm trying to dress up, as I feel like I walk like how he does. Like, he walks like Freddy from Part 2, that stuntman they had for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, in the shower.
Yeah, like that's how he walks in a tuxedo. The other one, like they play that trope too, of like the straight-laced cop twin dresses like a quote-unquote slob. Mm-hmm. Really just dresses in one fucking getup. And you have the criminal who always likes to dress in nice suits and shit and look real fucking suave and have like a fucking 90s portrait of himself in his own apartment.
Yeah. Oh, man, there's so many things about this movie that are head-scratching moments. And one of the things, like you already mentioned Roddy McDowall and Tito from Tito and the Tarantulas, but if you look at the cast of this movie, I know when I was watching it with you, I gave you the old double take of why am I seeing this actor? Why is this actor in this movie? And that is a random scene with David Carradine, who plays Mr. C.
Yeah, they could only afford him for the one scene in a jail cell, which makes me wonder if he was already filming something else in a jail cell, and they just wandered onto the set of that and be like, can we do a shot with him too? Like, here's $100. It's like, can we get one scene with him?
Yeah, here's these lines of dialogue I wrote on a fucking Arby's napkin.
Yeah, there's something with him and this fucking metal, like, credit card looking thing. As Joe Bob would say, this is the one time there's a little bit too much plot trying to get involved in this that's
in the
slowing
movie?
down this movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's a diamond heist that's involved, too. Like, I think they're trying to have an actual story going on, but you don't fucking care at all about it, because you're just like, I'm just watching these two these two Neanderthals try to just coexist.
And then there's a scene where Peter is at his apartment and he's working out with his girlfriend, and she's literally only in this one scene, right?
Is that a girlfriend, or I just thought that was just the fucking neighbor down the hall?
Nope, it's his girlfriend. She's literally listed in the credits as Peter's girlfriend.
I don't believe that. I think that's a fuck up, because it to me always looked like that's just a neighbor down the hall, like he's coming home at this time, just watches him come in his apartment and just listens to him through the fucking wall.
Oh, no, that's a neighbor, but the girl that he's like bench pressing later.
Oh, okay, I'm mixing the twins up like so many people do.
Yeah, mixing the scenes up. He's like bench pressing this girl, which is the love of his life, his girlfriend, who we only see in this one scene, but I did a deep dive on her, and that actress's name is Bobby Brown. And she plays the video store babe in Last Action Hero, and she plays Monique in Cool as Ice, because I knew I had seen her somewhere, and, instantly pervert me goes, was she an adult actress? Because that's immediately where my brain goes, like, an early 90s adult actress that I've probably seen inside and out, so I did the deep dive, and I was like, oh no, she has a random throwaway scene in Last Action Hero.
Man, talk about 3 movies. They're like, you can get one autographed by this woman. What do you pick?
Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero, really?
Sidebar.
Ah.
Last Action Hero is getting a super special edition Blu-ray release with deleted scenes, commentary, a whole bunch of shit.
If that commentary isn't just Arnold for the entire runtime, I'm out.
Is it Arnold and McTiernan? Is McTiernan still alive? I
don't even want him talking with anybody. I want him fucking recording that shit in his house with Lulu.
Lulu just chewing on the microphone.
Yeah, you get the audio cut in and out constantly. He goes, oh, Lulu, don't do that. I'm trying to record for this 4K release of Last Action Hero. No, I don't have to.
Cord.
I got to call Best Buy and get another cord. Yes, I got the 2 you want. You bring another one here.
And this movie, holy crap, guys. Like I said, it's filled with just about every stupid sophomoric trope of a cop movie, of a muscle-bound movie. You know, you have the standard partner who gets killed, and there's like a slight revenge motif going on, but they never touch back on it.
You got that. You got handcuffing the bad guy to the steering wheel and he just rips the fucking steering wheel off. You have a Final Destination sequence too, where they lock a dude inside of a tanning bed.
And then use those voices. That's hilarious.
For that dude to only get out and be hilariously run over by a car twice, which, I mean, it's still hilarious, but it's actually pretty decent dummy work, like getting run over by a car. Like, you actually see that. That's one of the only deaths you actually see, and it's pretty awesome.
I've seen way worse dummy props.
Oh, yes. Go look at Death Wish. Any of the Death Wish sequels, and you'll see worse dummy props thrown out of windows and shit.
Yes.
Not bad here. Plus, they flip over a car and an airplane. Yep.
That's where I was going to get to,
By hand.
as far as other tropes with muscle-bound characters, you know, and we've covered Showdown in Little Tokyo, Dolph Lundgren flipping a car on its side, using it as a shield. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator picking up that truck and using it as a mobile bomb. And there always seems to be a, I'm so strong I can flip a small car. But in this movie, we don't see him or see them flip the car. We just see the aftermath.
But we do see that they are as fast and strong enough to, if they have a bad guy who has a gun drawn literally on them, are strong and quick enough to grab the rug he is standing on and yank it out from under him, pull him a good 12 feet towards them so they can torture him.
Yes. And that's where I think, the kid in us just loves this type of stuff. This is very like Three Ninjas style comedy with two big adult monsters, And if you're an adult and you're looking for like a very serious action movie, I almost used Cobra as a reference, but like Cobra,
you can totally. Cobra looks Cobra looks like the client in comparison to Double Trouble.
So say it the song.
Absolutely. Like, if you're going to compare those two, you can totally say Cobra is a serious action film compared to this.
Right. And this one is definitely, I'm going to keep going back to that Saturday morning, like, footy pajamas, fruity cereal with marshmallows in it. Like, this is that type of movie. The type of movie that you throw on and you go, these motherfuckers are literally like bulls in a china shop. They have a sequence where they fight in a china shop and then they beat the piss out of each other, and then they're like, are you hungry? I'm hungry. Let's, you know what I mean? Like, they beat the fuck out of each other, and then it's over.
That may be, it's hard to pick my favorite scene, but that definitely may rank up there, because at one point, they just decide, we're just going to fight right now, and they just have a fist fight that goes from place to place, including fighting through the back of an old couple's car at, like, a stoplight, and that's one of the best scenes to me is, you don't see them actually fighting. Your perspective is in the background. You have the two couple in the front seat of the car, but then you just see fists going back and forth, and they're punching so, like they're not taking time. It's just they're punching way too fast at each other, and that to be anywhere logistically real. To leave that car to literally then wrestle through a actual china shop. Like,
And then I gotta bring it up because I hate to be like, I've worked on sets and blah blah blah, but
you have.
You ever notice how, like, if an actor is not like familiar with their dialogue or comfortable saying a certain word, like, you could tell it's not a word that's in their wheelhouse or their natural dialect. It sounds like a forced word.
Pyroclastic cloud.
Yes, there's a scene in this movie where after they fight, they're sitting and eating, and I forget which brother, but he says, I'm not going to eat that. That's filled with carcinogens.
Carcinogens and nitrates.
The way he says it is like, you have never said that word in your life. I know it.
That's again that trope. That's the good guy cop eating like the chili dogs and shit. And that's straight up like from Dragnet, where Tom Hanks' character wants to eat a bowl of fruit, and the criminal brother is like, carcinogens and nitrates.
Carcinogens. He says it so fucking weird. I wish I had the audio cue.
That should be their. We should make them in a wrestling game. That should be their fucking tag team name, is Carcinogens and Nitrate.
Yes.
Like, but together we're gonna kill ya.
Yeah. And, you kind of brought it up when you thought I was talking about The Neighbor, but that scene, we can't do this discussion without bringing up that scene, and that was like your selling point. I remember, like, the first time you talked to me about the movie, you were like, dude, this scene is ridiculous, so I'm gonna let you clue.
Shit, I can't even bring this scene up without even talking about the snap you sent me when you watched it. Because that's even funnier than watching the movie of it. Because, the cop gets home, he's been given a cat, so he pours cat litter into his sink for a litter box. And then
sink.
Yeah, just use the sink. I forget even what food that he serves it. It's not even. It's not. Is it even cat food? I don't even remember what it is that he feeds the cat. But it's also ridiculous. But then he goes to work out on his bench press, and he starts out like pretty like normal looking, but a quick cut second later, and the dude is pouring with sweat like he's Hulk Hogan in a 20-minute match with Ric Flair. And he's
covered
just
in baby oil.
Yeah, just drenched in baby oil while you just see his accolades and shit on the wall behind him in between him doing close-up bench presses, and he's just making these sex noises the whole time he's doing these benches. And then you just cut also to the neighbor who's just in her lingerie, like listening to the wall.
A cigarette.
Yeah, like she's getting off on listening to him just working it. Like that's her routine, and she's like, I'm gonna get home. I know he gets home at this time. He'll start working out immediately within 15 minutes of being home, and I'll be able to, take care of myself. Yeah, have a smoke and then call it a night because he's just gonna be going to town in there on that bench press.
Can I get an evil reenactment of some of the noises that are being made?
I mean, it sounds kind of painful. Like he sounds like.
Which nobody in the history of ever bench presses like that, I don't think. Unless they're dying. Unless they drop it on their chest and it's like a whoa!
I mean, it kind of sounds similar to that dude who I sent you that 13-second clip of.
Oh, and all the bands?
Yeah, I might have to just pull that up so you can get an idea. Like this dude, I think, is going for a Barbarian Twins kind of sound with how this guy works out.
And you can't talk about his workout sequence and his apartment. Like you said, it's got all his accolades everywhere. They keep cutting to B-roll of his, like, oh, he arrested so-and-so and da-da-da. But his apartment...
Yeah, he's a decorated officer.
Yes, his apartment is littered with muscle-bound action star movie posters. There's a Cobra poster. They're fucking everywhere. And it's like... All right, we get it. Like, I get it. You want to be Sylvester Stallone, Peter Paul, or David Paul.
Oh, man. What a movie that would be. Could you imagine if we had the Double Impact style filming with Double Trouble, but we have two Stallones? Stallone in that fucking midriff Raider shirt. No matter how much you shake, a little bit of it still ends up on your leg,
Oh, my God. Yeah, let's get a remake of Double Trouble, and we just do like they did with Double Impact, and we just have
Stallones.
Two Stallones. See, we got two Arnolds in Last Action Hero. We got two Van Dammes in Double Impact and another movie he did where he, like, I think In Hell or something, he has a twin brother, or Replicant. We got the two Peter and fucking David Paul, but they're actually two people, but we never got the double Stallone.
You think anyone ever tried? And he's like, I ain't doing that shit.
I don't know, but now Hollywood, listen up.
What would you want to
like,
see? Would you want to see him like Rocky Balboa taking on like the like the cloned Rocky Balboa?
I'm not sure where you're going with it. Maybe it's Demolition Man 2 and he, it's a clone situation. There's your in right there.
I'd love to hear two Stallones rappelling down a rope yelling, Phoenix! Or they finish each other's lines. Like they'll be putting berets and shit on and be like, gotta become a criminal. And the other one, to catch a criminal.
Yeah. See? You just made a movie. We just made a movie. Hollywood, you're welcome. We want Demolition Man 2 with two Stallones.
Two demolitions, two men.
Yes. Oh, fuck. Too damn hype. I am all about that.
I mean, then they also have to fight two Wesley Snipes, too.
Is he out? He is out of prison, right?
Yeah,
That's why he did the new Expendables movie a while back.
Actually, like as of this recording, this is the day after the release of Coming to America, where he's the lead villain, I believe, in the sequel, which I haven't watched yet. But yeah, Wesley Snipes making the comeback.
I read a bunch of stuff already this morning of people being like, "Man, it's not good." So
the best
I don't know,
heard
but I also
is,
don't take what people say for face value because you and I like stuff like Double Trouble. So
the best I
give a
heard
shit.
from somebody I know said that, well, they didn't reinvent the wheel, but it was still fun. I was like,
Right.
Okay, that's what I expect.
right, fun is fun. So
Speaking of fun, this is fun. Maybe the most fun ever made.
it's insane.
And it's heartbreaking that we don't have both the brothers alive anymore. One of them did pass away. I think the criminal brother is the one that passed away.
That life of crime caught up to him.
Yeah, cab burglar. He eventually got caught.
See, he should have been eating those carcinogens.
Carcinogens and nitrates take you out.
Carcinogen sounds like a TV show or something. I don't know what. It sounds weird.
It sounds like a very small part of a car that is at least $800 to replace, and you're gonna have to
Late
replace
night
it at
with
least twice.
carcinogens.
Yeah,
That's a
Your car-
catalytic converter, and you don't need them unless you're in California.
apparently those are uber
California converter.
expensive.
Carcinogens are what took out Roddy McDowell.
Hey.
We're coming for you next, Paul.
The great vampire hunter.
He was the great vampire killer.
That's right, killer. That's what I said. My bad. Hunter killer drones.
Hunter sounds more impressive. Vampire killer sounds like what?
That's on his business card.
The vampire killer. Yeah.
Yes, this works for me.
Funded through my diamond heists.
But also, since we're talking about this style, I guess, of what this movie actually is, and I told you about some of the stuff that Joe Paragon directed, like Silk Stockings and Pee-wee's Playhouse, but he also wrote that Twin Sitters movie that Peter and David are in.
Peter, Paul, and David Paul.
And he also wrote Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. So if you're a fan of that movie and that type of just very juvenile comedy, then this movie will be right up your alley.
Juvenile, but still, for the most part, pretty clean.
Yeah, it's super clean. The only...
Like Elvira's suggestive, but it's still fucking clean.
Mm-hmm. And then with this movie, everything is clean, with the exception of the workout and the girl listening, and it's not even...
Yeah, everything except David Paul's wardrobe of Raiders clothes.
Yeah. Which, as the wardrobe department, do you think they had multiple Raiders shirts, or was it like, we could only get you one, man? Pamida had one.
Man, I feel like this is definitely not a movie that had budget at all to
Right.
it. So it was this, take all the photo. Like, that's the reason why all the photos in his place are of him wearing the same fucking getup. Like, we don't have money to put more clothes on this guy. Just take the picture of what he's fucking wearing and put it on the wall.
Right. Nobody will notice.
Who's going to analyze that kind of detail in Double Trouble? Get out of here. This is 1992, damn it.
Two guys in 2021 are going to be like, wait a minute.
That's fucked up. I love it.
Yeah, that's called art department really slacking on their job. But
Art department.
I think you're definitely not far off with this movie not having a budget. Like, guys, just bring whatever clothes you have, and we'll make it work. There wasn't much to find on the internet about the making of this movie. I would be curious to see how long it actually took to shoot, because
3 days.
one thing about, hey man, you can do a lot in 3 days.
Yeah.
But
We could
one
make
thing-
Double Trouble in 3 days.
Yes. One thing that I notice about the way this movie is put together is there's a lot of... You can tell that Peter and David are not up to snuff when it comes to acting, So there's a lot of like
the close-up of that of David's face when they're driving. Like, it's a really uncomfortable, like when they realize something, and David's like, And they just zoom in real close on his face, and it's like, is that his realization face acting there?
Yes, and a lot of the shots of them doing any acting, if it's not physical, like if it's a conversation with, you know, one of the Paul brothers and someone else, almost 90% of the time there isn't even a wide coverage shot. It's like close-ups of each actor saying their lines, so you kind of even don't get a sense of where this conversation is taking place, because it's a lot of like, I bet they just put the camera on those guys and we're like, all right, try the line again. Try the line again. You know what I mean? Like,
there's not even a scene technically where David Paul gets knocked out by one of the bad guys. It's literally like you get a POV shot of a dude trying to pistol whip him, and a sound effect to the dude waking up tied to a chair. Like, I don't even think the dude could tide being knocked out by somebody.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, but the way it's all cut together, it works, but it does have that super cheap, like, kid movie charm, I guess. And I keep going back to like Three Ninjas, like,
definitely with how it ends, because both their brothers have Roddy McDowall kind of cornered, and like the diamonds are kind of falling out of their display case, and Roddy McDowall is trying to seduce Peter with like, look at them, it's like they're almost glowing, look at those diamonds, they're singing to you. He just goes, you forgot to say you're getting very, very sleepy. And it straight up ends with them killing Roddy McDowall. David Paul is trying to find his brother and literally finds a fucking trail of diamonds. Yeah, that's falling off the back of a fucking, I don't even know what that is. It's like a golf cart. Yeah, Peter's just driving a golf cart, like, fucking across a runway, losing diamonds the entire time, just waving back. Like, that's how the movie ends, on a freeze frame. So, yes.
Sidebar too, like, he's so fucking big that golf cart is going like 2 miles an hour, and his brother is almost catching him.
That may be where some of the editing came into play, because I'm sure they had to redo some of the audio, because I'm sure the engine on that fucking golf cart was
grinding for all it was worth.
It just about caught fire when they cut frame there. That's why it had to end on a freeze frame, because that thing just started smoking.
Blew up.
Trying to transport the fucking refrigerator on it.
Carcinogens from the smoke of the golf cart. See, I brought that full circle.
Carcinogens.
But this is a movie that I think everybody needs to see 100%.
That should be the title of this episode, Double Trouble, aka Carcinogens and Nitrates.
Yes, there it is. But we spent a good amount of time rambling about this movie, and I'm proud of us. Golf clap. Or, masturbation, whatever noise that sounds like to you.
I like that's why you go with a slow clap.
Yes, we stayed on topic, and now we
pretty well.
We skated out there a little bit, but now that we're done discussing all the things we love about the movie and all the bonkers shit, I guess, Evil, does that mean that it's time for the Amazon 1-star reviews?
I do believe that means it is time, so remix! Cue the graphic that you can't see.
Hated it.
Well, to go along with what you were saying earlier and not being able to find much information about the making of this film, that also coincides with the 1-star reviews, because there is one-star review
written by
this
Roddy
movie.
McDowall.
Why? But it's from Michael Sapano.
All right.
Oh, Mike Sapano on August 30th, 2016 says 1 star. Takes me back.
Take you back. Do. Take it back. That's it? Takes me back.
That is it. There is nothing on this movie, so I fully expect after this episode drops that just the impact of Double Trouble just penetrates pop culture and the Renaissance happens.
Like a mushroom cloud. Listen, You know, that's what we're here for. A lot of the movies we've been hitting on over the past 3 months have kind of been low-hanging fruit. Heavy hitters that are kind of ingrained in that pop culture lexicon. But now, with this movie, this is a movie that we're telling you, if you don't know about, which apparently 99.8% of the fucking internet doesn't know about, it's like $11 on Amazon. Go buy it. You will not be disappointed. It's a, manufactured on demand, because I don't imagine there's a warehouse filled with the Barbarian Twins cinema.
I'd like to hope there is.
Yeah. That they just have all their estate is just filled with like a big warehouse of shirts and fanny packs and a bunch of DVDs and cardboard cutouts.
Now granted, there is 53 total rankings of the movie, so it does overall have a 4.7 out of 5-star rating on Amazon.
Wow. If you would have told me that when I got done watching the movie, I would have said you're a liar.
I'll throw this in there just because we didn't have anything in that, but a 5-star rating from Christopher M. Brewer. On November 7th, 2019, 5 stars. These guys rule. What a great movie. Probably my favorite of the Barbarian Brothers. Just a fun movie to watch, and you like Double Trouble, get your hands on Think Big. These two brothers work great together and are just naturally funny on screen. Shut up, Whitney!
Whitney!
That was totally when I watched this for the first time with a couple people from work. That was the catchphrase we took from the movie is Whitney.
He says it's so fucking funny. For those of you that don't know about this movie, when you see that scene, come back and just leave a comment on any video, Whitney, and we'll be like, you're part of the club.
Whitney saves the fucking day, and they're like, Whitney.
Holy fuck. Well, now that we got the 1-star reviews out of the way, Evil, does that mean it's time to play the game?
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
It's time to play the game, and how you play it, this is Double Trouble, and you're gonna buy it.
You're gonna buy it. Not to be confused with the Julia Roberts Nick Nolte movie Double Trouble, or is that I Love Trouble?
That's I Love Trouble with Nick Nolte.
Yeah. Either way.
Oh my gosh. That might be the worst way to try to sing Motorhead as Nick Nolte.
It's all about the game, and how you play it. It's all about control. And I'm drunk.
Ahab, you godless son of a bitch. Turn this boat around.
Take him off the fucking grid.
But it is time to play the game. And Evil, give a real quick little rundown for the folks at home about what this game is, and let's jump into this motherfucker.
If you do not know by now, then you should just give up. Just give up.
If you don't know by now, there's probably a song in there.
This is where we pick a prop from a movie that we're discussing that we'd like to take home and add to our personal collection of memorabilia, but try to think of something more outside the box than the most common thing on in the movie, i.e. the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So, for Double Trouble, the one prop you want to take home from this, for me, personally, is without a doubt my favorite scene of the whole movie, number one. And it was not even a guess for Raj. He knew way ahead of time what I was going to be picking. Is a scene where David Paul is chasing after Tito from Tino the Tarantulas. He rappels down a building, gets into a car. David Paul is still on a roof, happens to be standing next to one of those 1980s, early 1990s satellite dishes, those like at least 6 feet wide, monstrous satellite dishes. And you get a shot of from feet up, like straight up commando, like he's carrying the tree. David Paul, who has taken the satellite dish.
Like Atlas up in this motherfucker.
Yeah, off the stand, holding it with both arms like it weighs 700 pounds. does a weird motion like he's gonna hurl it like a fucking discus throw. You don't actually see it because he can't act throwing anything.
Act throw. I don't know.
He doesn't do it in a natural motion that would convey throwing how it does.
He can't even act up throwing. Oh, I love it. Sorry.
You watch it and it's true. You cut before he throws that thing. You just see him slightly turn and go, ah! Smash cut to this satellite dish flying off a roof straight into the windshield of this car.
Oh,
to which Tito immediately no-sells the weight of this satellite dish by getting out and pushing this satellite dish off his car with one fucking hand.
Yeah, it just slides right off.
Yeah, like a stiff breeze could knock this satellite dish off the top of this car. So I, hands down, want to take this satellite dish
Would
home.
you put it on top of your house?
I want to find David Paul and see if I can get him to autograph this fucking thing.
Oh, fuck, you need a van. You drag.
David Paul, can you come out to my van and sign my satellite dish? It's the one from the movie.
It's the satellite dish. That's an excellent prop, and I knew you were going with it. Like, from the 2 times of watching the movie and
It
the
was a selling
conversations.
point.
Yeah, from the conversations we had, like, it is. And we didn't even really talk about the scene, but since you did the prop, you talked about the scene. Like, it's probably one of the best scenes in the movie. It's so silly. But that's an excellent prop.
And just like the yelling of Whitney, the same brother looks up when he's getting ready to throw that satellite dish and goes, cool!
Yeah, cool! Like, it fits, like, not at all. I'm telling you, the editing of this movie is so perplexing. You will have a blast watching it. You'll be like, that literally doesn't belong there. That makes no sense.
Do not watch it on your own because you will immediately be hounding everyone you know to be like, look, we got to watch this right now. Just watch it with people you want to watch it with from day one. Save yourself the time because you're going to want to see it with people.
Yeah, I feel bad. Remix was working 12-hour days this week because you and I had both said, like, oh man, Remix needs to see this.
If he doesn't buy it just off hearing about it for an hour, I feel we failed a little bit.
I've been scrolling through it on YouTube because you can find it for free on YouTube. That's it just looks weird. I can't listen to any of it, but it looks weird. I was scrumming through, I found the scene where he throws the radar dish off. You can see the guy run around and try to throw his gun into the car and it bounces off the side of the car. So he totally fucking failed that throw. It's great. I love it.
Oh, this movie is bonkers, dude. And I'm telling you, $11, you're not taking a hit. You're really not taking a hit.
No, you're robbing them.
Yeah, you know, and you're going to win that on the fights tonight anyway, because, old Uncle Roger never fails you, except for the last fight card. You shouldn't have taken my advice. So we'll see what happens tonight, but...
When you say tonight, this is like 4 months ago.
Yeah, this will come out in a couple weeks. But as far as my prop goes, and I think you probably knew it just from when we were watching the movie together, even with the volume off, because it got an audible chuckle out of me. It's something stupid that, keep your eyes peeled on the Teespring because I can duplicate this, and I just might. There's a cop towards the end of the film standing around sipping out of this coffee mug, and it's a white coffee mug, and in black letters it just says, "Damn, I'm good." And I just love it. Love it.
That has a great fucking joke to it too, because that cop is he plays the ignorant cop, and he has that cup of coffee at the same time, like underneath him there's like a bomb that's going off, and this bomb explodes, and they smash cut to that coffee cup jiggling like fucking Jurassic Park, and he's like yells for another cop, like, "Hey, Johnson, give me decaf."
Yes. And so that's the prop I would pick, because then I could have it sitting out here.
You know, I'm shocked that you didn't take the fucking framed artwork of Peter Paul
himself. Yeah.
Yes.
I had thought about it, but I wanted something small. The video store isn't real big.
I remember your face when that was on the background. You looked up, and I was like, "Look at the artwork on the wall," and you're just like,
Yeah, what the fuck? Like a velvet painting of yourself.
Yeah, that they when the bad guys storm that house, they decide to tear that up and wreck it. And he looks so bummed out. I'm sure he would have brought that shit home.
Right.
Man, that was from my personal collection.
They didn't tell me they were going to cut it up.
Prop Master put a hole in it.
We're at the end, and there was one other character actor in this movie that I didn't get to, who has kind of a small part, but he's instantly recognizable, and that's Louis Arquette, and he plays a character named Tarlo in the movie, which is David Arquette's father.
Wow.
He's he's in a bunch of stuff, including Scream. He's the he's going to be the police chief in Scream, but he's in a whole bunch of oddball movies, and he's always just a character actor, and he has a little scene in this movie, and I just forgot to mention him, so I had to bring that in at the end. You get to see some Louis Arquette if you're a big Louis Arquette supporter.
So many puzzling things about this film, and that's another little piece of that puzzle is you'll just see a bunch of actors that you know, but you don't know in it.
Yeah, they're like, hey, it's that guy. They've just got that face.
Like, hey, that dude looks familiar. Was he playing in the band and From Dusk Till Dawn? Hey, that dude looks like he's from Kill Bill. Is he from Kill Bill?
Right. Yeah, a lot of weird stuff like that in this movie, and if you're a popcorn as fuck cinephile, like Evil and I are, a lot of the people that are in this movie, a lot of the people who were involved in this movie, their bodies of work are already in your wheelhouse, and you will have a blast with this movie. And if you're new to it, just come back and let us know what you think of this movie, because like Remix said, it is for free on YouTube if you just don't want to spring that $11.
Not legally free, like most other movies.
Right, it's someone uploaded it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when YouTube's like, it's Double Trouble, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
We should just, at that rate, we should just do a fucking like video commentary for it and put it up on the channel, since no one cares about Double Trouble's fucking rights but us.
Right. Maybe we could buy the rights.
Someone's getting paid. Yeah, it probably could. Someone's going to get paid for this movie. It should be us.
Right. Because we're going to be responsible for the resurgence of Double Trouble fans.
Yes. Mark that down, Shout Factory, when you do your Shout Select copies and fucking Fright Rags, and you decide to do a line of shirts and stuff with that movie poster on the back of it. Yeah, it's coming back.
Yeah, we're bringing it back. On that note, Evil, do you have any parting words, final words for the folks at home before we call this podcast finito?
Go buy this movie right now.
And then when you're done, yell, Whitney! from the top of your lungs.